Okay, so let's dive in. We're looking at some specific verses from the Gita today, and they bring up something, well, pretty mind-bending.
Right. The core idea is how creating, sustaining, and even dissolving this entire
This
universe.
massive thing,
Yeah, exactly. This huge cosmos, how all that happens without God spending any time or, resources. No effort involved.
which seems impossible, right? I mean, normally if you build something, say a table,
Uh-huh.
you need wood, you need tools, you need time. You and the table are part of the same reality.
Precisely. And that's the conventional view. But these verses, they kind of flip that whole idea on its head. They introduce a couple of key concepts to explain why it's effortless for the divine.
Okay, so the first big one seems to be this idea that the universe is a lower order of reality compared to God, or the ultimate consciousness.
That's crucial, yeah.
But how does being lower make it easy?
Right.
Like, what does that actually mean in terms of effort?
Well, think about it. Like, this effort usually involves pushing against something, right? Something with its own substance, its own reality level.
Sure, resistance.
Exactly. If the creation is fundamentally less real than the creator, that resistance isn't there in the same way. The classic analogy given is dreaming.
Oh, okay.
When you fall asleep, you instantly create a whole dream world, right? People, places, physics.
Yeah, sometimes totally bizarre physics.
Huh, right. But the point is, it just appears. You don't consciously spend hours designing it or using up energy to build the dream mountains.
That's true. I never wake up feeling like I've done a day's work building my dream city.
It just requires your consciousness to be present. The mere presence is enough.
So for God, it's similar. Just the presence of the divine conscious principle enables the whole show.
That's the idea presented here. It's not active labor. But that leads to the next obvious question, doesn't it?
Yeah, if God's just present, like the conscious background, who's actually doing the work? Who's running the machinery of creation and dissolution?
Right. If God isn't directly involved in the mechanics, then what is?
This is where the second concept comes in, isn't it?
Exactly. The verses say the job is done by illusion or Māyā. This is described as the primordial stuff of the universe.
Okay, illusion. But you also mentioned it's inert.
Yes, that's critical. It's made up of what the sources call aura, energy, and matter, the basic components, but it has no consciousness of its own. It's fundamentally inert.
Wait, hang on. If it's inert, how can it possibly do anything? How can it create or manage a universe? That sounds like well, a contradiction.
It would be, except for one crucial detail. Illusion functions only because it borrows consciousness and existence from God.
Borrows it.
Yeah, think about our own bodies and minds. They're technically inert matter, right? Complex arrangements, but inert. They seem alive and conscious because our consciousness illuminates them, powers them.
Ah, I see. So illusion is like the universe's body, and God is the consciousness making it seem to function.
That's a good way to put it. Illusion is the material instrument, the stuff, but God is the efficient cause, the conscious power source that allows the instrument to work.
Okay, that clicks.
Okay.
It reminds me of that king analogy mentioned in the verses.
Mm-hmm.
The king might not be out there digging ditches or writing laws himself, but his authority, his presence, empowers the whole government, the ministers, the officials, to run the country.
Precisely. The ministers do the work, but they operate solely based on the king's power and presence. Illusion projects sustains and dissolves the universe, all powered by God's presence, even though God remains uninvolved in the actions themselves.
So illusion handles everything, even the end of the cycle, the dissolution.
Yes, the pralaya. It's all part of the functioning of this borrowed power. There's another great analogy used. Electricity and a motor.
Okay.
Illusion is the motor. It does the actual physical work, maybe lifting water, running a machine.
Right, the action.
But the motor is useless without electricity. God is like the electricity. The mere presence enables the motor to run, but the electricity itself isn't doing the lifting. It's not changed or affected by whether the motor is working hard or sitting idle.
So Lord Krishna says he's unaffected because illusion is the motor doing all the creating, sustaining, dissolving, just powered by his constant, unchanging presence.
Exactly. The work happens within illusion, enabled by God, but not expended by God.
So wrapping this up, the universe gets created, run, and dissolved without God spending any time or energy because, one, the creation is a lower order of reality, and two, the actual mechanism, illusion, runs on borrowed power. It's not divine laziness, it's about the fundamental nature of the creator and the creation.
Perfectly put. And it leaves you with a pretty provocative thought to chew on, doesn't it?
Go on.
Well, if our own little dream worlds are created effortlessly by our finite consciousness, and this vast cosmic world is created effortlessly by infinite consciousness, What does that really say about how solid, how fundamentally real our everyday waking world actually is?